Hey there, welcome back. So in this unit, we're making probably my favorite thing ever. It's this simple but fun toy using animations and an animation library, some graphics, some audio, an audio library, and we're going to make a simple clone of that Pad-a-Tap app that I showed you early on, where you can hit keys on your keyboard, and each key corresponds to a sound that is played and a little animation. And ours is going to be simple. We're not going to have a bunch of different animations. I'll show you what it looks like. Every key has its own sound, and when I hit that key, the sound is played, and we get a colored circle. So every key has its own color, and then the circles animate. They basically shrink down. So I'll show you what I mean. Let me turn that up a bit. So we're going to make this. We'll be using the same sounds here. It's pretty fun, but the reason that we're doing this is not just because it's a fun project. We're doing it because we have to use libraries here. And we're going to use two libraries, as I mentioned. One is called Paper.js, and another is called Howler.js. And I just want you to see what the process is like when you incorporate a library into your code. And whenever I'm writing curriculum, whether it's for an evening course or a 6-month or a 3-month course or an online course, I always make sure that there's some project or some assignment that forces students to do a little bit of digging into the docs of a library, figuring out how to incorporate some external code into their own app. And I usually try and make it into something that's kind of fun, sort of a toy maybe, or a cool interactive demo. So I've done things with audio before, with animations, but also with the webcam and face tracking and head tracking. There are libraries that can do pretty much anything now with the browser. It's really impressive. This one, though, is really fun. Again, we're taking two libraries, Paper.js and Howler.js. We use Paper.js to help out with graphics and animations. So they have some really fun examples. If you click on Showcase, actually, I'm on paperjs.org/showcase. They show you some real use cases where people have used Paper.js in the wild. And if you click on examples, there's some fun toys. I really love this one here. I could probably play with this for hours. Something is just very relaxing about this to me. So fun things that we can do with Paper.js. Again, anything that Paper.js does, we can do on our own without Paper.js, but it's a lot of work. So I'll show you what I mean. The code here, so I'll hit a key, in this case the letter P, to make that circle and to shrink it down like that, to do that animation. And also notice it changes color a little bit. I don't know if you can see that, but it goes from purple or blue down to purple, or if I do another one, this goes from yellow down to green. That animation and that transition without Paper.js might be 50 lines. Maybe we could get by with 20 or so lines. With Paper.js, it's less than 5. It's really simple. Same thing with Howler. So Howler helps us play audio. We can do all of this without Howler. Just like we can do all of jQuery, everything that it does, we can get by without jQuery. It just often means that we have to write more code. So this plays a sound. Here's an example. We're going to do something very similar to this, where we're just going to play a sound when you hit a key. And each key has its own unique sound. So I'm hitting Q. Q always plays that noise, and it always is that light blue color, and then it transitions to a darker blue. One last note is that the circles are they're spawned in a random location every time you press that key. So the location is not set, doesn't correspond to the key, just the color and the sound that's played. Okay. Great, so in the next video, we'll get started. One thing I do want to point out before we get started is that all of these sounds that you hear, I'll play them all briefly. Some really nice sounds. We actually can use them in this project together. I've included them as a download. I'll show you here. If you download the sounds zip file, there's a bunch of sounds, 20-something sounds in that file. So there's some really nice sounds there, and we actually can use all of those. They're from an open source project on GitHub. It's actually what Pad-a-Tap uses, or what Pad-a-Tap actually is this neuronal synchrony on GitHub. So it has animations if you want to look at those animations that we're not going to do because they're a lot more complex. but it also has all the sounds. So what I did is I just took the sounds from this A folder right here, all of these sounds, and I zipped them together. There are a lot more. If you want to choose different sounds, you can go to GitHub and download this, but I like the sounds that are in that A folder. I'll also point out just the license here. We can use it, MIT license, take a look at it if you'd like. Really nice sounds though. I'm not sure who made them, if the creator here made them, but there's some really, really good sounds that we'll be using, and they're identical to what Patatap uses. So download those. It looks like this, just a directory with a bunch of sounds, and we'll be using that in the next few lessons. So we'll go ahead and get started in the next video, and I'll just leave you the last few seconds here, try and make something on this. Let's see.